Well, so I will call us to order at 7:34, and I don't see any public participants. Shall we approve the meeting's minutes from last meeting?
Yes, so motions,
Second, Robin,
yes.
and I'm a yes. There you go. Minutes approved. Let me pull up the agenda. Where it is, there it is. So obviously we don't have Julie because her term has ended.
I
Though she,
know. It's a very
yeah,
sad day.
it is. I also realized that I hadn't actually sent the agenda to her or sent the invite to her because she was no longer going to be a member. So I had said that I thought to myself, well, I'll have the invite go just to me and Robin, and then I'll let Julie know so that if she wants to attend as a regular citizen, she can. But I didn't think to actually do that until this morning. So she's not available. But she said she will
I
join
think
us.
she had told us that this week in general would be busy from
Yeah.
yesterday's election and so forth, so.
Yeah, so that's fine. She'll join us at some point. So I think we wanted to do a recap of recent events, which in this case is just Earth Day. Look at some of the next events. And I want to talk about other media, and particularly I had an idea for some posts and articles. So those were the things on the agenda in my mind. So Earth Day.
What's that look?
I'm a little, I feel a little underwhelmed. Lots of stuff happened for Earth Day, just not from us. Like we posted a bunch of stuff. A few of us took the quiz. A few of us who primarily are already ESC members took the quiz and posted about it. I don't think I've seen anyone post yet in response to the
actually the second quiz we did have a non-ESC member.
Yes, we did. We had one of those. Yeah.
Yes, that's my mother.
Oh.
Different last name, so it looks like a unique person, but
that's a delightful thing. So yeah, so we just haven't gotten, I'm trying to pull up. Can you just see the agenda? Am I only sharing the agenda?
You're just sharing the agenda, yeah. Which you could take down because I have it on my split screen. Let's see one for your own use.
I was just looking back at our Facebook to see Earth Day challenge with a prize, blah, 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 blah. 3 shares, which I think might have all been me, to other groups, and not a single comment. So maybe people like myself are still thinking hard about what single-use plastic they're going to stop doing. But that doesn't seem to have gotten so much engagement yet.
Yeah.
The quizzes were, a little interesting. We learned some things, but
like all quizzes, I always want to talk back to their answers because I always find exceptions to why they suggested something.
Right. Yes, Post-its. Good point. If I put the Post-its, like individually, a Post-it isn't recyclable because it's too small. But yes, if I put the Post-it on a piece of paper, then it is recyclable. Note to self, put your Post-it on a piece of paper.
And I knew that one, but to me, it was meant, I got that it was supposed to be like in itself as a recyclable.
Yeah.
So I overthought it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I knew what you had to do. Actually, the one that I find the most curious is the don't crush your bottles. Like I know not the crushing like the people like making pancakes. But I like to take my milk jugs and crush them a little bit because I find that they don't blow around as much.
Oh.
So and also to save a little room in my recycling bin. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize that would impact sorting.
Yeah, and I wonder to what degree it does. Like, does a little crunching? Because I imagine they also get somewhat crunched just going through the processing.
Well, that's what I was assuming recycling had a little compaction to it, so I was just giving it a little
Okay.
compaction. Oh, got me
Mhm.
thinking.
Yeah. Hmm. Interesting. Well, so anyway, so the quizzes were interesting. The Earth Day challenge so far has not gotten a lot of engagement. Oh, I guess I don't know whether the posts once they got shared out to other groups. Oh, how would I go find
I
that?
don't know if
Because I shared it to some of the community groups. How do I then go see it to see if anyone commented on it there?
well, you don't see it the same way. You have to like find the post. You know, if they tag you back.
Mhm.
I think with the town election, there was a little more distraction on some issues and um the paving going on in town. Like, I think that's, you know,
Yeah, it's a busy time on Facebook. So
see.
I don't know. Anyway, we've had a lot of content going on. It is my intent, although I have not gotten to it, to do a recap of the Earth Day, like some of the Earth Day post highlights, both to send to our email list and to send to the item.
Okay.
Um, so I was going to try to get to that sometime in the next few days, to try to catch other folks, not necessarily to do the to do the challenge for the prize, but at least to, give them access to the quizzes and calculator and stuff.
I think that's a great idea. Just it may get a different audience.
Yeah.
Um, maybe not, but
I mean, if you are interested in writing that, you're also welcome to do so.
that's not my strength. I was actually last time we talked about writing is Myra had indicated that maybe she'd be open to helping us out because she does
Hmm.
enjoy it if we give her the topics. So if
Oh,
they, although that is older offering, so I don't know if it's still applicable. But
yeah.
I think sometimes it's just what do we talk, so if she said, hey, suggesting of the summaries,
Yeah.
then the
Well, or
content's
like,
then all there.
yeah, or maybe if I write like a terse summary for our email list, who is our
Right.
friendlies, if I send that to her, maybe she could then like package it for a broader audience for the item.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I will reach out to Myra. That's a great idea. Thank you for reminding me of that offer and that skill set. Because I think in part I haven't gotten around to it because it is not it's not my forte either. So the next few events, or anything else you want to say about Earth Day?
No,
Um,
always comes on us faster than I think it will.
yeah, yeah, and maybe next year we'll plan something more in person and eventful. But I think in part we didn't want to compete with the Warrior Cleanup, which is Saturday.
Right.
So I re-promoted that today.
And
I,
they've also done a bunch of
yeah,
promotions, I noticed on
and I've
Insta
seen
and stuff.
flyers around, like that looks well publicized. Um, so I will be there. That will be fun. And
The
then
Arbor Day is tomorrow.
Arbor Day is tomorrow, so I have a post teed up for that.
Why does my Facebook feed think that today was an anniversary of Arbor Day? Is it a reoccurrence by day of the week? I thought it was a date. Maybe I just posted the
Oh,
wrong
it's
day
not
one.
tomorrow, it's the 26th, I thought.
Isn't tomorrow the 26th? What's today? Oh, no, today's the
Today?
24th.
Phew.
26th,
Yeah,
Friday. Okay.
right. Yes. But I said tomorrow also thinking that. Well, hold on a second. No, that doesn't make sense. Wait, today is Wednesday.
Yes. It's
Oh, yes.
Friday.
Yeah,
Google
I
Google
lost it.
tells me it's Friday. Okay.
It's Friday. Yes, I was confused. Okay, so yes, it is Friday.
Oh, it's always the last Friday of April. That's why I got a Facebook memory.
Oh, got it. Okay. I didn't know. That
I
makes sense. So I have a post saying it's Arbor Day. Post a reply with a picture of your favorite local tree, whether it's in your backyard or on a favorite walk. Consider celebrating by planting a tree this year. And then there's like a little tidbit from somewhere about, if you plant shady trees on this particular side of your house, it'll cut back on your AC usage, etc. I am quite sure that it will get some commentary about the trees that we lost.
Oh, that person? Yes, I imagine
I mean, because we
you should
get that
expect it.
commentary about all sorts of things that are unrelated to trees.
Yes.
But this one feels particularly,
What's actually relevant? I mean, like
yeah, right. Yes, yes.
we have lost unimaginable amount of trees and its value.
Yes. And I don't know if we want to, like, my approach on the commentary has been to simply ignore it, particularly since most of the time it is unrelated to the topic we're posting about. I don't know if in this particular case we want to say something or engage or agree that it's a bummer that we lost to those trees. I mean, I truly am sad that we lost those trees. I just think there isn't anything new that we can do about it. So
I because it's actually now in sort of litigation, I think us not directly responding is appropriate because we weren't directly involved, we weren't at all involved in it. Which is unfortunate because they should have
we had
asked
wanted
us.
to be involved when
Right.
there was
So,
the appropriate time to be
the,
involved.
I mean, the organization has asked us to step into it, but it never. There was always an appropriateness and then also a timing and some
Mhm.
other factors, in my opinion. So, I'm glad that she posts and I would never encourage her to stop, but I don't think that we're in a position we should engage. As the individuals we can engage, but as the
Right.
committee,
As a body, we, yeah.
I think you've taken the appropriate post and because it's there, then, others could have hopped on and spoken up about it, so.
Yep. Do you think that the general post of it's Arbor Day, post about your favorite tree is okay?
Yeah, in fact, that was sort of what my memory was actually my nephew in a tree, hugging a tree. So,
That's cute. Yeah, I probably won't climb my favorite tree for this post. That would probably kill the particular tree I was thinking I would photograph.
oh, so it's a baby.
It's a baby tree. It would
Yeah.
not, it would probably, maybe it would hold my weight, but I probably wouldn't be pleased about it. So we have a dogwood in our backyard that we planted 2 or 3 years ago, and it is just blooming. So it is perfect time for some Arbor Day.
Growing up, we had a dogwood and I was never, it doesn't grow fast enough for kids to climb when you plant it as a kid. You're always too big for it.
Yeah, it makes
But it
sense.
was like like branches at the right height,
Mhm.
it's just screen climbability, but I was always too much weight.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's Arbor Day. I don't think there was anything else. I mean, and like we can encourage people to go plant trees for Arbor Day, but we're not doing anything in particular.
So did you see that, the item today mentioned trees, if people want
Oh no.
street trees? Oh,
No, I didn't. That's
hold on, let me grab it. No. All right, no, so not the town, it's Gas and Light. Who wants a tree from Gas and Light? So it's their tree initiative. So I imagine somewhere on their page.
yeah, I
We'll
think
have
I
some.
posted about that before. It wasn't entirely clear to me whether that program was still running, although it is currently the first item on their
Says now in its third
already
year, the
big.
program provides 50 trees to customers in support of the American Power
It looks like
Association.
there was a press release fresh about it earlier this month.
So,
So
yep,
yeah,
first
first come,
come,
first
first
serve.
serve, 50 customers.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. I will
I'd be
include it.
curious what it's a utility friendly tree.
I hope also native. Is that in there?
No, that does not ensure it's native for sure. And
Hmm,
often our list is not
I
native,
don't, yeah. Hmm.
but shade trees are shade trees. So there's always some benefit.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
All right. Well, I will include that. Um, rest of the tree. Um, cool. Great. Thank you for adding that.
I haven't read the paper. I just saw the headline when I came home.
That's good. Well, I remember seeing that in past years, and I've certainly posted about it before. The posting that was in their website, in their carousel news thingy, was from last year. So it hadn't been clear to me whether that was still
All right. Yeah, no,
happening
it's a
or
good
if it had
question.
run out. But seeing that now there's a fresh April of 2024 press release, sounds like it is, in fact, newly happening for a new set of trees. So that's great.
And then
Okay.
wouldn't the town also have its tree program that Ed Dabrowski initiative? Joyce, what is that? I had a cute name.
Well, there was a tree thing through the high school also. They were doing
A community tree donation. That's
hmm,
2019, so
yeah,
maybe
is there a
not.
new hmm,
Yeah, maybe not promote that.
um cool. Well, all that is good. So Arbor Day Friday, Warrior Cleanup Saturday. And it looks like good weather for that, which is nice. Um, also on our upcoming list is our bee presenter.
Mhm.
Um, she had reached back out that she's getting some new bees because hers didn't make it through the winter,
A
and
common occurrence.
she'd be comfortable setting a date in later May or anytime in June. Or there's some nights of the week that are better than others. I replied this was about a week ago, asking about the observation hive and its calendar,
Right,
and
because that may set
suggesting,
the
yeah, that Wednesdays and Thursdays tend to be best for us, particularly if we were going to record it, and ask, is she
right.
comfortable with us recording it as we've done with past things? I sent her the video for the recycling one as a for example. Um, Also haven't heard back from my query to the library of you're comfortable with us bringing some enclosed bees, right? Didn't hear back from them on that. So reach out
Hmm,
again before I book the space, or look at their,
right.
availability. But I think
Speaking of the library, did you see that they got a bird camera?
no,
Do you know what I mean by bird camera?
like the ones that with like a bird feeder with a camera that takes pictures when the birds come by.
Yep.
Nice. My mother-in-law has one of those and sends us amazing pictures. Cool. Yeah. Send it my way. I'll include that in some future thing.
Um,
That's pretty neat.
the I wouldn't bother the library this week. The big fundraiser is Saturday.
Good. Okay. Thank you.
So once they recover from that,
Yeah. Good thinking. I will reach back out to them sometime next week. Cool. And then Festival by the Lake. I submitted our application and we were accepted. It's
okay.
not that I thought we wouldn't be, but we were accepted for a table at the Festival by the Lake. So that is June 6th, 10 to 4, I believe.
Yes.
Last ESC meeting, we had a few folks who said that they would be available to participate. So we should probably in the next full ESC meeting get time, or I guess I could just email the set of people and figure out what times folks want to do. I imagine most people don't want to be there for the whole time.
Right.
And we should think about what particular um, things we want to do at that table.
I really wish there was a way the festival like did food compost. It really seems like
Mm.
an opportunity lost to demonstrate, less waste.
Well, we have the bins now from the schools. Could we,
Oh,
like, we now
yeah.
have a whole bunch of bins that are theoretically during the summertime. Oh no, June is
It's
still.
not summertime, it's June. But
Never
that is a
mind.
question. I mean,
But
it
we
would,
might, yeah,
it's a ask of the
maybe.
library, but, or not the library, the DPW, but if there was a way for us to try to collect some of the food.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's something to ask Anne. Like, is there a way to, although I think the contamination question, like, unless someone is actually, I mean, and maybe it's just that we have a compost bin at our booth.
Right, so if people come with food, they can put it in, but we're not in the food area.
Yeah.
So Lexington does a sidewalk, road closure kind of thing. And every place, well, I don't know if it's every place, but down the street, they have trash recycling compost. And it's like, there's this like, that's the station. And they don't have someone man it, but I wonder if it's been around long enough that they
Mm.
also, Lexington also does have curbside recycling compost townwide. So it is a little different attitude,
So
but
probably more people are at least like
they draw
trained up
people
in
from
it.
out of town too.
Mm.
I don't know the organizers of the festival, like to ask them if they even have considered it. I mean, we know for sure they're not using styrofoam, right? Hopefully. I haven't eaten there because I tried to avoid.
I think I missed it last year, so I don't even remember.
Um,
We
not
were
that I
at,
wouldn't eat the food, I tried to avoid the food, if that's a distinction that's clear. Um, well, well, it's a logistic thing, like, do I even offer to bring my bucket over and schlep it back, or is that?
we could. I mean, we could also reach out to the organizers.
Let's, maybe Anne can help us.
Yeah.
I mean, they organize the water truck. I assume it'll be there. Is there any way we can get some food compost?
Do you want to reach out to Anne?
Sure.
I can also send you the email address for the festival by the lake folks. Well, here, I'll just forward you. Mm. Forward you the email from the person who accepted our application. So that acceptance letter has
Okay.
general info and
An actual person.
info and email. Yeah, there's an email address, but then that was an actual human, not the info at. It does say to food vendors, if you're selling food of any kind, Board of Health requires you to register with them by email, blah, blah, blah. So maybe we could also check with the Board of Health whether they're making sure people don't have styrofoam. So we have that email. But yeah, as far as like the content at the table itself, like activities or info or anything, um, and we certainly have some of the same info that we've had before about our resources, about composting. Um, we have the little thing that Melissa made in the past for the like promoting the styrofoam and plastics ban. One thing I had made that I think we never even used, or maybe it came to the EV showcase was I did a map of the town.
Okay,
That's not legible.
that's upside down, but that's okay. I got it.
Yeah. Um, to try to identify the greenest, like identify some streets that have a bunch of,
Oh, right,
solar
you were
and
asking for
for
nominations
like,
of things.
yeah, for us to do like a green homes,
Right.
EV showcase style demo or, tour. So I'd love to bring that and see if anyone, speaks up and says like, oh yeah, well, I've got this and my neighbor has that and um so I don't know what else we would want to bring. And we can have well, maybe not. I was gonna say we still have the pet food bags collection, but I don't know if we want to be telling people like come bring your pet food bags to the festival. That feels weird. Like it's one thing to say, hey, we'll have a compost bin so you can, compost your pizza crust from the
Sure,
food.
well, though, it's not like it's heavy. Um,
Right. Because we were
I
gonna use
think the state reps
right,
event that
that's
was postponed, the number
June
of people
29th.
that were planning on just swinging by and dumping their stuff out, I think, they canceled it, so it could
Yeah.
be possible. Um,
Is there something more interactive that we want to do?
I don't know, but the month in May will actually be Lexington's, like the event I was telling you about earlier. Um, and I forget, last year I went by their booth of their equivalent, well, to call them equivalent as us is not being nice to them because they've been around longer and done some amazing things. But to see if they have, if they're
Mm.
engaging folks with any activities, so
Yeah. Sure.
um, I'll be there with service dogs, but I'll have a chance to walk in.
Oh, cool. Um, yeah, so we can think about it. We can brainstorm and ask other folks.
One
I
thing
will,
tough about the event is that if we're in the middle of a row, maybe
yeah.
limited to just the width of the table. I don't know. It has a
Yes.
different
Yeah.
vibe to it than if you're like on an end or something, or the farmer's market has a little more elbow room and stuff like that, but
Hmm. That's true. Yeah. And I did sign us up for the small size booth.
well, which is appropriate too, just
Um, well, we've got a little time on that one. We can kick some things around. Um, and then state reps, Lipper Garabedian's recycling event is June 29th. So we will show up for that with the pet food bag thing and I guess the battery collection.
and I assume gas and light is doing bring us your old air conditioning and stuff like they did last year,
Right.
or
Dehumidifier.
do you
Yeah.
know
There's a whole bunch of like
collections?
the Facebook post has the list of all the different collections. There's styrofoam, furniture, various electronics, some for a fee, some not, mattresses, textiles and household goods, whole mess of stuff. So we will re-promote that as we get closer. The Melrose version of that event is this Saturday, um, so which we're welcome to go to since ours was postponed.
I don't think they'd turn us away even, I mean,
Probably not.
I will be busy, so I won't be able to go to their event, although I will be sticking my head into Melrose, but timing wise. Different.
Well, and it overlaps with the warrior cleanup, so I'll do the warrior cleanup. And then next on our event list was the Black Earth Compost Facility Tour,
Yes.
which I put out a survey.
Yeah, you getting results?
I did, yeah, we've had 12 responses, which is pretty good for us. Um, I mean, good half are ESC members, but that's okay. Let me share my screen. And you can look at the responses together. I did glance at them earlier in the day. So a bunch of folks, what days or times typically work? Primarily weekends, which I think when I looked at the detailed responses was when you could not go. Is that right? I think,
Not necessarily. I mean, just every Saturday morning I'm at the market setting up. So
oh,
it's,
okay, got
um,
it. Um, so, that looks like overwhelmingly in favor of let's do it on a weekend. Fine. Um, variety of days that people can't go. I think there was one person who checked off that they couldn't go any particular day of the week and then said, like, just schedule it and if I can go.
right.
Okay. Um,
It showed their interest in it, which is what we want to make sure that
yeah, that's
proof
true,
of
right?
concept.
Totally. And at least a handful of folks are willing to drive, so we'll be able to, minimize the cars. Someone will bring their 8-year-old son. They brought their son to the recycling facility also, and they're a delight. So happy to have them. It's a very good question about are there bathrooms? No idea. We'll find out. Uh, Try to find out ahead of time. That was my mom's question, and it's a good question.
Always a good
Um,
question.
it's always a good question because at the recycling facility, it was like it's available at the very beginning and at the very end. But once
Oh,
we're
well,
in
that's
once we're
fair.
in
I
the
mean,
facility, then no, not really. So, like, well, that's a really good point. So with that information, I will reach back out to Black Earth Compost. I had emailed with them about a month ago, right after the recycling conference. Um, and they had said that they're just finishing up the new facility and it should be ready in about a month, which would be about now. So I'll check back in with them and see, is it ready? Is it open for tours? Are there, can we arrange for a field trip on a weekend? How might we do that? What are some possible dates? And then we'll pick something.
and the new facility is where?
Uh, uh, I want to say Manchester by the Sea, but I might be making that up.
Uh,
Yeah, Manchester. But the Massachusetts Manchester.
Which is Manchester by the Sea now.
Right. So I'll keep you posted on our Manchester compost site and setting up a field trip for Wakefield. We're still about a month away from opening. So
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through their post to see if they announced it being open, but I don't see it.
right.
That doesn't mean it's not, it's just they haven't.
They've had a lot to post about lately with compost sales and Earth Day stuff.
Yeah, I gotta buy more compost.
Yes, we got a new custom bed because they do
Oh,
custom sizes of their garden, their raised beds now. So we got a 2 foot by 8 foot because we had a 4 foot by 8 foot and we wanted another, but not quite so wide. So we got a 2 foot by 8 foot custom bed, and the appropriate amount of soil. We set that up last weekend. It's looking very nice.
excellent.
Yes, it has one blueberry plant in it so far that we rescued from being eaten by the bunnies in our yard. So we'll see if it survives now that it's up.
Well, I don't know how high the bed is, but the bunnies jump, so
Yeah, the bunnies get into
everything.
our existing garden bed, so it may not be.
Yes. We actually cage the blueberries, not for birds, but for bunnies.
And we might have to do that, or we might just give up on blueberries and
Oh, but they have such beautiful leaves in the fall. They're a great 4 season or 3 season plant.
yeah, ours is pretty twig-like, so I don't know. It just may be that these particular plants are beyond salvage. We'll
Are
see.
they low bush or high bush?
I don't recall.
They're
We may
hardy.
just we may
Don't
just
give
try
up.
and okay. I mean I put it in there, figure, let it try.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
And it's in great soil, so
Yes, it might be very happy now. So yeah, so I'll reach out to Black Earth and see about dates, but also between Festival by the Lake in June and the recycling event in June and all of that. And we're away a lot of July. So
We'll
this
see.
may be one that we wait until August or September for. Um, and then if we have a date on the calendar, even if it's August, that can be something that we promote at Festival by the Lake or at other such
Exactly.
events. And another one that we had talked about was doing a Fix-It Cafe, or Repair Cafe or one of those sort of things. I know
Who's about to do one? Is it Melrose?
Melrose just did one last weekend.
I-
Um,
Do you know how it went?
oh, it sounds like it went really well. Um, and Elena, who runs that down there as part of the 368, 386 collective, the Lend and Mend group,
Oh,
used to be
okay.
the Loop. Um, she's been running them for both Melrose and Newton and has like some ways of helping, and like you can actually use RDP funds. RDP? Yeah. Recycling dividend. The like DEP
Oh, this
funds.
is the points things that
Yeah, the points things.
it
You can
gets.
use those funds to like get support to set up a repair cafe. So like
Okay.
there's all sorts of, stuff around it. Um, but I also was texting with Melissa, and sounds like waste reduction subcommittee wants to take that on as
Okay.
as one of their things. So I said, y'all go for it, and when there is a date, you let us know and we'll promote it. So sounds like that one is handed off. Um, and I think that was all of the ones on the immediate list of things that we were trying to plan.
Agreed.
Oh, except the farmer's market. And I guess that was the
Yeah,
other
and I
question.
realized on my train home or bus, because the train's not working this week,
Um,
that I hadn't hit submit on the form, so it's on my list already.
cool. Sounds good. Well, when we have that, we'll staff that as well, and that'll be fun. Moving on from events. Um, so a notion that I had had and would love feedback on this. It has been no more than just like a note in my notebook. Was I thought it might be fun or interesting to do some like walk the talk profiles or like posts, but maybe not just on social media. Maybe we put them somewhere else. Um, maybe in the item or somewhere. About ways folks are living by their sustainable ideals. So like profile, folks who do all their, as much shopping as they can at the farmer's market in the
Mhm.
summertime. Show, Julie rides her e-bike to work most mornings. Um, Myra's kids take the school bus.
Right.
Um, Lily composts her food, like whatever sort of things. And like
Yeah, no,
we
that's
could
nice.
figure out a whole bunch of different things that we all do. Ideally not just ESC members, ideally other members of the community. But like do a little, a picture and a paragraph about this thing they do and why they enjoy it and why it's helpful and something like that.
Yeah, I mean, can we get Steve Mayo to say what he does and,
Yeah,
others,
right. Right, exactly. Yeah. Jonathan drives his EV and he loves it, but not just because it's electric, but because it's a fast car. I don't know. Yeah, I think it would be nice to like profile folks out, in the rest of the community.
Do you think, so one thing we haven't, I don't think we've done, is been able to really engage the students. And I don't
Mm,
know if they're looking for something they could do. I mean, is this something we ask them to ask to interview folks, like, so,
yeah.
if we, just set up like a template and say like, who are they? What's the
Hmm.
relationship to the town and how do they try to live sustainably and
Hmm.
see if they could take it from there? I mean,
I love that. That's a great idea. Yeah.
um, and of course, if they can either have a photo of the person doing it or just a photo of what they do, um,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
see if that's a way to engage them. I know that this that feels like there's a pressure for them to come up with ideas, but maybe this is another way to.
Yeah. That's a great idea. And I mean, and maybe like they might have some creative ideas about the format. Like,
Mhm.
is it an interview? Is it a little video snippet? Is it a Instagram post? We don't have Instagram, but maybe someone does.
But it can vary based on who does it and who
Yeah.
they're talking to.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great idea.
Do they find
Um,
one of the businesses that does the compost or
yep.
super excited about cardboard recycling? I don't know.
Well, for the green business program, we're starting to collect names of the businesses that are doing those things
Okay,
so that
perfect.
we
So
can
then
maybe do a pilot. Yeah, like Rise and Shine composts.
excellent. And of course, uh, the grocery store does.
Farmland. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so many buckets.
964
I
gallon
know.
buckets.
So
Yeah. Um,
are they collected weekly?
I think so. I think
Okay.
they're collected on Thursdays like the rest of us.
Okay. I didn't know if they requested more frequent just because of the
Well, that might
volume.
be why they have nine, is so that they can make it a whole week.
Okay.
Yeah. I at least I don't recall seeing them collected other days. Maybe they are.
No, you may be right that they don't come through town. So,
Well, so because we had talked with them about that when we started composting at the schools, and especially when we started trying to compost the trays, compostable trays at the schools, was whether they could do pickup more than once a week
mhm.
so that we wouldn't have to have 10 barrels at Woodville. Um, and Black Earth was willing to do so, especially because we're like right near so many highways. They're like, yeah, we could certainly send a truck to just swing through Wakefield and hit one school at the end of its route on a Tuesday. But it would be for, the same extra charge. It would be
Right.
as though you had extra barrels just without the space. And then that didn't end up happening. So just because of other
Right.
challenges. Um, so it is certainly possible that they are picked up more than once a week, but I thought it was just Thursdays like the rest of us.
But I like the idea of the personal.
Yeah, I feel like we could just, we could showcase some of the things that folks do and like, the everyday people kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So, okay. What do you think is the best way to engage the students? I had invited them, I'd sent them all an email and shortly after they joined, asking them to come join this subcommittee,
Right.
and haven't gotten any yet. Although I haven't pestered especially. Um, did we ask them in one of the meetings? They weren't at the
They
last
weren't
one.
at the last one.
And do they stop showing up when school gets out?
I don't understand their schedule of participation, so I don't know how to answer that, but maybe we just send them an email saying, hey, we're looking for help, and this is the
Yeah.
ask.
Right.
And
And maybe a
so
specific ask is more enticing than come to our meetings and we'll talk about things.
yeah, because publicly recorded videos could be, intimidating. So this is, yeah.
It's my favorite part of being on a town committee. Yeah, that sounds good. I will send them an email and pose the project and see if anyone is interested to take that on. Because yeah, it feels like it's a contained project. And they could say, yeah, I'll do 3 of those. And if
Right,
it feels like it's going well and we want to keep doing it, we could continue and we could do more of them.
right.
Cool. Okay. I like it. Um, Another engaging thing that I saw, have you seen the Mass Energize platform?
Energize.
Mass
No.
Energize, where did I see them? Or who told me about them? Someone told me about them recently. So they have like a way to make a town dashboard of the things that your town is doing. It's like a tool for engaging households. So like towns will sign up and they'll say like we're trying to get X many people to have EVs or to do compost or whatever. And then like they track, you know, like people sign up and track stuff.
Is this something that the um climate action plan should be talking about because it has a display of their initiatives?
Could be, yeah.
All right, so Framingham's doing it, Lexington, Wayland, Milton. Jewish Action Plan Network.
What was Melrose? I thought someone else nearby.
Um,
Melrose, yeah. Yeah, Lexington.
Explore interactive websites. Well, imagine there's a cost.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Um, and we do have a little bit of a budget growth from last year if it gets approved at town meeting. Um, I love dashboards and having people see in real time, like it either agrees with their assumption that not much is happening, or it surprises people that more is happening. Um,
Right, and I'm always curious with these sort of things, like how many people in the community actually sign up to participate? Like,
right, how do they?
does it actually drive engagement in these actions? Or do you just spend all the time trying to cajole people to sign up for the website to post that they already got an EV. Now you're just harassing them to join the group on the web page so that they can click the button saying that they already got an EV. Like I'm not
Right,
sure if that's yeah, I don't know. I'd be really curious to know what some of the towns nearby that have done it think about it. Like if you see the Lexington folks at this event coming up, maybe see if they what their take is. And maybe I'll ask the Melrose folks. Um, but I mean, it feels like it could be a way to, do some social proof, show people that folks are doing these things and get them to consider it. But I don't know. I don't have a good sense of like if it's effective or just a nice way to track some numbers.
right, and then, so are these the towns themselves, or is this their advocates, within it? So for us, is it we're advocating, or would be just sustainable Wakefield folks would, like, how does that all?
Good question.
It's certainly interesting.
Yeah. And maybe, yeah, that maybe becomes something that, climate action plan uses as a way to track progress against the goals and things that get set up through
Right.
the climate action plan. That might be a question for them.
Yeah, because I would think that would be part of it, right? That they have to demonstrate.
Mhm.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't, well, and it wasn't clear to me whether, or because I think for them, they're tracking more things related to like municipal actions and town actions,
Okay.
right? Whereas this is more about households making changes. I
Mhm.
think that's my impression looking around, but
All good questions.
yeah. Anyway, just wanted to raise it for awareness. I'll raise it to the larger group too, or to at least the climate action folks.
Yeah, and I'd be curious if Gas and Light would be interested in engaging in it and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, did we have an update on the solar? The
Which
community
part of it?
solar? The community solar?
Well, they changed the start date.
Right. Right. Poor weather month in April, so we're moving delaying to May. Right, so please return your signed thingamabobbers. Yep. All right. Well, that's exciting.
I'm actually just curious how much this, so the solar's on. I was wondering if they had a dashboard of how much power it's generated, but I don't.
Oh, well, because I have a dashboard for the power on the water buildings.
Right, but they should, I would think they'd have a dashboard for. Hmm.
I don't know where I'd find that.
I know. All I'm coming across is promotional videos to explain it.
Like, I know I've seen the dashboard that for what's on the other water buildings. Under energy efficiency programs, it's in the right-hand panel. It has the dashboards for the solar on the water building, the DPW buildings, I guess.
Okay.
But that I only see it for those two DPW buildings, not for
Yeah,
the
maybe they didn't, I just.
might just not be dashboard boardified yet. Anyway. Well, that was all on my agenda.
Under
Other than
backup events, what's food impact?
oh, that was so like we had the event that where Sean presented about the impact of climate on our food.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to do sort of the opposite version of like the impact of our food on the climate. So like, you
Oh,
know,
eating less meat and
eat
stuff
less
like that.
meat, etc. If we found a person who wanted to present that, and
Hmm.
it could be like an in the library thing, um, sort of fall into the bottom of the list.
No, well, you have to find the who.
Yeah.
Um, hmm. Lilac Hedge,
Mm.
the,
The meat, the
yeah, the folks that come to the market,
Mhm.
their newsletter doesn't really talk about that. I mean, they talk about the value of farming small and local, but
Right,
not,
like rotational grazing their chickens and stuff
yeah,
like that.
new place for their pigs, I think, this year.
Mm,
I'll keep my ears out for that, or eyes or whatever.
yeah. So I think there'd be interest in that. But yeah, it would be a matter of, finding someone who's a good speaker for that content.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but there's a new restaurant that opened last week in Reading that's advertising as farm to table
Oh,
that, but I don't, it's not like it's a vegetarian only, so I don't know if they really talk about food choices and impacts.
mm,
It's in the, the post office building got turned into housing with the retail.
mhm.
So the retail is a new restaurant.
Cool. Cool, cool. Check that out.
It's fancy, or pricey, I should say. But that's okay, gotta have full
Well,
range.
sometimes when,
Sometimes you want that.
yeah, if you're, well, and sometimes that's what it takes for it to not be commercially produced,
Oh, yes.
highly
Oh, yeah. I
processed,
mean,
right? If it's farm to table,
yeah, I don't remember
someone
if
has to
they
pay the farmer.
posted how local their food was, but
Mm.
always
What's it
good to hear
called?
new restaurants trying. So it's called Post 1917 Steakhouse, Our Story. Um, restaurant history, blah, blah, blah. This farm to table approach ensures the highest level of ingredients go into every meal. Excellent.
Oh, so I mean, steakhouse, uh, sort of by definition is not saying eat less steak.
No, but
Saying if you're gonna eat steak, eat good steak.
wow, yeah. As a steak eater, you're gonna pay good steak prices.
Hmm.
Do you want it to taste good?
Yeah,
I don't know. Well, I'll keep my eyes open, or
yeah, it's good.
uh, just lost you screen wise. Where are you? Okay.
Here I am. Okay. Anything else? We should pick our next meeting date, which by the calendar I think would be May 22nd. Where the heck is my calendar? Does May 22nd work for you?
Does my nephew has MCAS that day? Yeah. Um.
It's just before Memorial Day weekend, but
Yes.
for
No,
Wednesday.
that still works.
Okay, great.
We don't know who will join our big committee, and of that person, we don't know what subcommittees they'll join. So we'll see.
Or maybe we'll get an additional person.
I think Melissa had said that we still have an open seat because she applied to renew and so did Lily,
Right.
but Chris's seat is still open, so
Okay.
um, let's see.
Okay. Yeah, that would be good.
So my tasks are to poke at the Festival of the Lake to see, you know, any opportunities for food compost and the farmer's market, to get dates and stuff.
Yep. Perfect.
Awesome.
That sounds good. And I'm gonna reach out to Myra about writing an Earth Day recap based on the Earth Day recap email I send. And I'm gonna add to the Arbor Day post about the street trees. And I'm gonna reach out to Black Earth Compost about a tour date and figure out library date for the bees and email the students about doing the walk the talk thing. Cool. Any matters not anticipated?
So you're not town meeting night one, but you'll be there night two, because
That's right.
I would imagine night one will be financial focused and some
Yeah.
other, but the MBTA is deep into the list, so we'll see.
Yeah, where did the town meeting? I had the warrants open. Where did they go?
I could see there's a zoning one, and there's actually two zoning ones, and they could create some conversation that could take a while.
Right. And there's the stuff about water metering and trash and recycle for multifamilies.
Oh, right.
There
Yes.
are actually, so you're right, there are 23 articles.
It's gonna be a long one.
Yeah. So like several are the appropriate available funds, et cetera, et
Right,
cetera.
yeah. Yeah, the
Which,
standard budget ones.
yeah, which are not probably very interesting, but articles 9 and 10 are the trash recycling for everyone and the remetering of water to not
I didn't, I missed that on the list, but
yeah, so I think the two of them are from the same vein, which is multifamily residents of multifamilies are getting a raw deal. And the water metering one is by definition, they're all getting billed at the highest water rate because the building as a whole
volume.
gets to that volume. So the proposal to do that differently. And then the trash and recycle one, as we've talked about, is like they should all get served by the town's trash and recycle. I wrote up some notes
Yep, I
about it
saw that. I haven't read
just in
it, but
case as it
yeah.
comes up, if anyone wants to speak to it, it at least has some of like the output of the research that we did a year ago. I don't know if it matters, frankly, but if it comes up, I just figured since I won't
No,
be there,
thank you. Yeah.
I would make that available to y'all.
I imagine if not Anne, Joe Conway will speak to the
Yeah,
challenges of private property and so forth, but
right. And they can certainly speak to that better than I can. I mainly wanted to, get
yep.
across the pieces that I had looked into of who is currently not served as far as I understood.
Mhm.
But yeah, I imagine that even with just some of those things and the budget stuff, I'll be surprised if we get even close to.
Yeah, I would hope they wouldn't start the MBTA late into the night, because
Yeah,
I do not, I just can't stay up.
yeah. Um, so I will be in attendance on the Thursday
Uh-huh.
and, the following Monday if it comes to
And
that.
I'll be late to the Thursday, but I will be there because I have to be in a public meeting for work, but
Mm.
um. Which is reminding me I need to have a conversation with someone tomorrow about it. So,
But yeah, there are quite a lot of things on the town
yeah,
meeting. There's quite a lot. Yes.
and it ends with quite a topic, so it's not dull to the end.
Mhm, mhm.
So, all right, well, have a good weekend.
You
And
too. Thank you. See you next week. I'll adjourn us. It is 8:38.
sounds good.